Strengths and limits of claims and EHR-based data sources. In this informational video, the Food and Drug Administration Sentinel Initiative Community Building and Outreach Center will explore how claims and electronic health records, or EHR data, may be used to address different dimensions of a scientific question or problem. One of the main focuses of the Sentinel System's 5-year strategy from 2019 to 2023 is to incorporate the use of EHR data supplemented with claims data to support public health surveillance. The strategy also aims to incorporate emerging data science innovations, expand the type of regulatory questions that could be addressed, and enhance the methods tools to run queries. Sentinel is built upon claims data. The Food and Drug Administration Amendments Act of 2007 mandated the FDA establish a post-market risk identification and analysis system with access to disparate data sources, including at least 100 million lives. In response, the FDA created the Sentinel Initiative and its Active Risk Identification and Analysis, or ARIA system. The FDA uses this national system based on real-world data known as RWD to conduct post-market safety surveillance. Sentinel was designed to leverage claims data supplemented by EHR data available through data partners with integrated delivery systems. The approach provides Sentinel with a rich source of longitudinal data while safeguarding patient privacy. RWE data enterprise enhanced use of EHRs. To advance the use of real-world evidence known as RWE in response to the 21st Century Cures Act, the FDA created the FDA Catalyst program with the goal of establishing standards for high-quality RWD and evaluating RWE applications. The FDA is dedicated to developing more efficient mechanisms to access data from electronic healthcare records, as laid out in the Sentinel System 5-year strategy. Leveraging claims and EHRs to improve capabilities. The Sentinel Innovation Center was established in 2019 to advance objectives in Sentinel's 5-year strategy and increase Sentinel's ARIA capabilities. The FDA's vision for the Sentinel system is to use both EHR and claims data sources for medical product safety surveillance and expand the utility of RWD for regulatory decision-making. Before jumping into details, let's define both claims and EHRs as they differ in depth and breadth of patient information captured. Healthcare claims. Claims data are generated from billing codes that physicians, pharmacies, hospitals, and other healthcare providers submit to payers, such as insurance companies or Medicare, for reimbursement. Claims capture medical services provided over time and across different provider settings for each individual patient, making it possible to study causal relationships between drugs and health outcomes. Claims data provides comprehensive data across all encounters. EHRs. EHRs are electronic versions of a patient's medical record that is maintained over time by a provider. EHR data may also include, but is not limited to, clinical data relevant to that person's care under a particular provider. EHRs provide detailed clinical data for a single encounter. The visuals on this slide provide an example of patient healthcare data captured for claims and EHRs. Claims have been the primary source of data to study post-market safety due to reliability and ability to capture longitudinal information. However, using claims data alone may limit the ability to capture unstructured and detailed clinical information. Strengths. Strengths of claims data include capture healthcare received across the care continuum. Time-stamped data enables studies to follow patients longitudinally and observe progression of health status. It can produce incidence rates, assess risk factors, and estimate population risk. It can mean high data quality due to use for financial transactions and reimbursement. Limits. Limits of claims data include missing non-prescription data, certain inpatient medications, prescriptions paid out of pocket, drug samples or other care not resulting in a claim, often lacking demographics and health behaviors, often lag due to adjudication processes, lack of detailed clinical information, for example, laboratory results or imaging procedure results. EHRs can provide key clinical information documented by providers during a patient's healthcare visit. However, EHR data alone may have limited ability to follow patients across time or across different healthcare systems. Strengths. Strengths of EHR data include contains clinically rich data elements such as laboratory results and vital signs, improved capture of inpatient drug use for data that includes inpatient EHRs, detailed timestamp data within a single healthcare encounter. Limits. Limits of EHR data include you may be unable to determine if absence of data is due to care sought outside the healthcare system or a true absence of care. It typically involves much smaller patient sample sizes and may also be geographically restricted. Preparation of data for use in studies is challenging as data varies across providers, sites, and systems. Claims and EHRs each have benefits in providing comprehensive data on a patient's health status. Therefore, post-market safety studies will benefit from surveillance systems that integrate both data sources and leverage the strengths of each. Supplementing claims data with EHR data. Supplementing claims data with EHR data can strengthen Sentinel's ARIA capabilities, supporting post-market safety studies, and improve computable phenotyping and natural language processing. Increase ARIA sufficiency. EHR data can help increase ARIA sufficiency in areas such as the ability to identify health outcomes of interest, including supporting validation of code-based algorithms, detailed medical history, physical exam data, and expanding signal identification capabilities. Sentinel will evaluate the extent to which natural language processing and machine learning approaches can be applied to EHR and claims data to leverage their respective strengths. Computable phenotyping. The FDA identified a specific need to expand access to and use of EHRs to address a lack of valid and robust computable phenotypes for many health outcomes of interest. The FDA uses Sentinel to address these topics in a series of projects, including exploring the use of EHR data to better characterize key variables of interest. Incorporating EHR data can enhance Sentinel's ability to capture inpatient exposures, like leveraging hospital EHR systems, or adjust for confounding with additional covariates. Integrating granular clinical patient-level EHR data into the Sentinel system positions FDA to better assess medical product safety using richer clinical data that are generally not available in insurance claims data. This slide depicts a high-level visual of how additional steps can be taken to further integrate EHR data alongside claims data into the Sentinel Common Data Model. Note that through feature engineering, Sentinel can incorporate all forms of EHR data, including structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. The ARIA system is the largest and most developed component of Sentinel. ARIA uses state-of-the-art analysis tools and a distributed database of standardized claims and claims linked with EHR data to monitor the safety of medications. The data undergoes continuous quality checks and refreshes. With ARIA, safety analyses are conducted more efficiently compared to studies with fully customized analytics, often in a matter of months rather than several years. Sentinel's ARIA is complemented by EHR data systems enabling the selection of a data source that best fits a drug safety question of interest. There are three categories of EHR data sources. Data aggregators compiles EHR data from multiple discrete healthcare organizations in a single platform. Data warehouse stores extracted standardized data from transactional systems in a central repository. Network, an integrated partnership of standardized EHR data among multiple data partners. The Sentinel distributed database is comprised of commercial insurers, integrated delivery systems, Medicare fee-for-service, and Medicaid or the Children's Health Insurance Program. The Meritive Market Scan research databases are compatible with the Sentinel Common Data Model and Sentinel Analytic tools. Sentinel's main EHR data sources include HCA Healthcare and Trinetics. The HCA Healthcare's data contains a data warehouse for multiple healthcare organizations in a system and has custom programming. The Trinetics EHR data contribution contains an aggregation of data from multiple healthcare organizations across systems and has a web-based querying interface. The Sentinel system affords the unique opportunity to create large, well-characterized national cohorts of patients diagnosed with COVID-19. Analyses of these cohorts have addressed key knowledge gaps that improve the understanding of the medical history, characteristics, and outcomes of COVID-19 patients. The problem with existing COVID-19 studies using limited data sources. Early in the pandemic, published COVID-19 studies evaluated hospitalized patients, examined few determinants and outcomes of COVID-19, and frequently did not adjust for important confounding variables. As a result, there were major knowledge gaps on the epidemiology of COVID-19, especially in certain subgroups. Population-based studies evaluating the epidemiology of COVID-19 were therefore needed to provide insights into its mechanisms and consequences and inform the development of interventions to reduce the risk of adverse outcomes. Even with direct access to such data, there can be challenges with identifying certain types of care, such as oxygen use. Mechanical ventilation or supplemental oxygen use, indicators of disease severity, are likely underestimated if only procedure codes are relied upon, necessitating supplemental access to nursing documentation, diagnosis codes, or other data sources for more complete ascertainment. The approach to solving the problem using both claims and EHR data. In initial analyses, 75% of patients diagnosed with COVID-19 had evidence of oxygen use or mechanical ventilation, compared to 26% when procedure codes were used. Using claims data. The approach to solving the problem uses both claims and EHR data. In studying COVID-19, medical history is an important data element to track pre-existing and chronic conditions. In claims-based data sources, enrollment requirements can be selected to ensure capture of medically attended events during specified periods before or after COVID-19 diagnosis. EHR-based data sources do not include enrollment data, so uniform look-back periods to capture medical history and comorbidities cannot be captured consistently. Using EHR data. As COVID-19 primarily affects the respiratory system, capturing and monitoring a patient's vital signs is critical in understanding their respiratory rate, heart rate, and blood pressure. In claims-based data sources, vital signs are not available as they do not appear on bills to the payer and cannot be used to measure basic bodily functions of a patient. In EHR-based data, vital signs are captured by providers and physicians and therefore can provide a patient's physiological conditions. Thank you for watching Sentinel's video on EHR versus claims. To continue expanding awareness, stay engaged with Sentinel by visiting the publicly accessible Sentinel website at http://www.sentinelinitiative.org/engage-sentinel. and subscribing to the quarterly newsletter to stay informed on latest Sentinel updates, findings, and event information. Viewing trainings on Sentinel data, tools, and more to learn about Sentinel. Subscribing to the RSS feed to stay informed on updates made to the Sentinel website.